Six hot, rich vampire brothers living in a mansion are thirsty after your blood. And they're hot and horny, but they cannot have you.
They can?
No, because you're a Christian girl.
Right. Exactly.
They're all desperately trying to get to your blood so they can reincarnate their dead mother.
Bitch, what the fuck?
Let's talk about Diabolic Lovers. This dumpster fire of an anime has a very special place in my heart as my sexual awakening when I was 12 years old. And if that was also the case for you, my condolences. This anime was actually an adaptation of a widely successful otome game or dating simulator available for the PSP in Japan. Let me bring you down memory lane and recap the beginning of the anime. The anime starts with our main character Yuri, the sweet innocent pastor's daughter being moved to a mansion by the church. In anime, when the church does anything, it is usually not a good thing. By this point, she knew nothing about who inhabited this godforsaken place. As she stumbles into her new abode, there she finds, sprawled out on the couch, our main male lead, Raito Sakamaki, who is laying there looking like a corpse and being the good Christian girl that Yui is. She checks up on him and notices he also has no heartbeat, goddamn. So she calls the ambulance. And her efforts get rewarded by getting assaulted by our main lead only seconds later. No, you thought he was going to sexually assault him? No. Don't worry, guys. He only wants to drink her blood because he is a vampire. It is in no way an allegory for anything else, right?
興奮してる。いやらしい女だな。
I should do therapy. This is, however, when another man enters the scene, perhaps to save her, and Glasses Guy summons their shadow butlers to take her luggage, perhaps to the abyss, and asks her to follow her to another room to discuss certain matters. And by the way, this is the first and last time the butler character appears in the series, and he is somehow still the most likable character out of the entire cast.
That is when the rest of the men living in this mansion decide that it is time for them to make their first appearance. Immediately, all of them have very fun nicknames for her, like Raito calls her Pancake because of her flat chest. Laito, his brother, calls her Little Bitch because that's how he's going to make her feel for the rest of the series. It is also when she finds out that they're all brothers and she will be their sacrificial bride. She then hurts herself and realizes that these pale rich assholes actually are vampires, like they were saying. She runs away, comically trips a few times, of course, somehow gets into a secret locked room in their household and finds the first and biggest secret of this anime. She finds a diary with her father's handwriting where he announces that she is adopted, that she was essentially bred to be their prospective bride. They then explain to her that she can never leave this place till the day that she dies, and that from now on, she has to go to high school with them. I know. At night. And that's where the first episode ends. And honestly, if only Dracula knew that the only thing he had to do was get a facelift and a really bad K-pop haircut, he would have been drowning in blood. I think by now I mentioned all of the recurring problematic topics like the harassment, the occasional incestuous scenes, the imprisonment. Well, to be fair, unlike a lot of other animes, at least they don't have pedophiles. He's actually 1,000 years old and she's 17. Yeah, never mind. And from here on out, each episode focuses on one of the brothers, or rather, one of the routes you could have had with one of the brothers if you had played the actual video game.
Oh my god!
Like with any rich family, the relationships are extremely complicated, there's usually multiple mothers involved, and they're typically bloodsuckers. Which, by the way, matters. There's 3 of them, and you know, the more the merrier. Laito, Raito, and Kanato are triplets from the same mother. Cordelia, who also happens to be the main antagonist of the show and also just happens to be the hottest piece of ass I've seen in anime recently. Then we have Shu and Reiji, who are also from the same mother, and Subaru, who is from a whole separate mother. They all share the same father. They were trying so hard to make a character that you could project yourself onto that they ended up giving her the personality of stale bread.
Her backstory is also quite unexplored. She is the pastor's daughter. She moves in with these vampires and she's adopted, apparently.
つうか父なし、お前そんなこと言わなかったじゃねえか。
それはあなたがいきなり襲いかかってきたから。
We're going with the vampire jock character first. In his episode, it is Yui's first day of school. Let's just kind of skip over all of the scenes where there's some sort of extortion or predatory behavior going on. Alright? Ah, dang it.
It seems the animation studio didn't have enough money anymore to actually draw other characters besides them because they are virtually the only ones in this school. There is not even teachers, which explains a lot. To be fair, if they didn't have any friends, that would be like so weird. But what would it be like if the Sakamaki brothers weren't absolute loners? Wow, you guys, this place is so cool!
Shut up, bitch. Yui, come over here.
Are we still gonna do homework today?
The only thing being done in this house are minors. Yeah! Yeah!
I think I'm gonna leave.
Leaving your next. Yeah! Yep!
Never mind. And Raito has a way of referring to himself as Your Highness or Yours truly. He's a loud prick with a soft side. He in one moment forces her to make him food, then compliments her food, immediately after sucks her blood and throws her in a pool, saves her and kisses her.
And while drinking her blood, he realizes that he's getting so high, like this girl's blood is genuinely vampire, correct?
リッチちゃん、立ち聞きはいけないな。
Now the next brother, Laito. First off, why is bro moaning every scene that he's in? Even when his brothers touch him, like...
俺様の許可なく勝手に手出してんじゃねえよ。
綾人くん、乱暴だよ。
Seriously? He's definitely the horniest and most manipulative, twisted character from all of them. And honestly, that's not even the worst part about this guy. That whole... Alright, I could overlook. But I cannot forgive that stupid fucking fedora. Bro really came on the show like... My lady. And decided to treat the female lead like shit. Actually, that's extremely on point for the fedora, never mind. I don't fucking like this kid. I'd rather take the weirdo that throws me in a pool than whatever the fuck is wrong with this guy. Not only does he behave like a little child carrying around his little plushie, he also taxidermied all of their previous victims. The dude has a room full of dead bitches!
リヒター、俺たちの王子だ。
Now that we have covered the main triplets, who are kind of like the main three love interests of the series, we can move on to a relevant side character, which is the uncle. He's trying to revive the triplets' mother, which by the way, the triplets are the reason that the mom is dead in the first place. Like, they also hated her guts because she was just that evil.
And he's just sneaking around their mansion, just doing all of these extremely suspicious things, and nobody bats an eye.
俺の裸見たくて来たんじゃないの？
Yes, Shu, our nonchalant king, just laying around all day, doing nothing, probably listening to Katy Perry on his MP3 player from the 2010s. He's the oldest brother of their household. Sometimes he just randomly appears at some couches, laying there, acting as if he didn't just vampire sprint there seconds ago, just for the sake of looking nonchalant. And honestly, he's kind of hot.
綾人、何ですか想像し。レイジか。ここはエントランスホールですよ。仮にも客人を迎える場所です。
The only reason I like him more than the rest is because at least he tries to stop his brothers when they're harassing Yuri. Honestly, his brothers are just awful. You could even say they're Diabolical. He's stoic Megane-kun, voice of reason, and much like everybody else in this anime has a raging inferiority complex. Besides that, he was obviously written to cater to a certain audience.
いずれ折を見て徹底的にしつけます。よろしいですね。
You freaks know who you are.
貴重な睡眠時間をどうしてくれるんだ？
どこから入ってきたんですか？
俺が先に聞いてんだ。
Subaru, our sweetheart, after the butler, the second most unproblematic character of this series, and also the Tolkien tsundere. Now, for the sake of this video not being 20 minutes and editing Maeda having to slave over the screen for 2.5 weeks like for the last video, I'm going to stop here and jump straight to the ending.
There's also just way too many questionable scenes for me to go over in this one video. Like one time, two of the triplets attack her in the underground tunnels. Then also she gets harassed in the church by one of the other brothers. Honestly, the only thing I have to say at this point is just, when is it my turn? I'm joking! So now we're jumping to the end. The uncle successfully manages to revive Cordelia in Yui's body, reveals this on their balcony, and cue 3 minutes of the worst fighting scenes you have ever seen in your life. Yui regains control temporarily, ends herself, and falls off the balcony. And somehow they still revive her because anime logic. And they see the error of their ways and try to better themselves from here on out. Now I'm fucking with you again. Now they immediately go back to treating her like the family's punching bag.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Whew, boy. Watching this when I was 13 was way more enjoyable. The anime is honestly very aesthetically pleasing. I think they did a really good job translating the character designs from the game into the anime. And I really like the clothing style that the characters rock from the early 2000s. I like the art style and her fucking uniform. Oh my god, somebody buy me her uniform, I swear to god. The music is also so bomb, like... The emo opening just fills the spot in my heart that was left open by Brendon Urie when he became more pop in 2016. Also the background music is very good, except for some of these sound effects. Why is there an apple biting sound effect when they bite her? Was the audio director just accidentally eating an apple every time they assaulted her? Is Yui actually just 3 apples in a trench coat? Guess we'll never know. I actually kind of also like the characters because they are complex, like, and because of that it sometimes seems very weird in the anime, like their actions don't seem very connected, because if you actually play the video game you get a better insight into their backstories and why they behave the way that they do behave. And if you are interested in playing the video game, certain sources have informed me that you can play the game on your PC by downloading a PSP emulator, downloading the PSP file for the game on your computer, putting it inside of the emulator, and then the game is still probably in Japanese, but there is a Tumblr blog which has translated all of the routes, or so I hear. Now a little bit of a personal note, those guys absolutely dominated my Tumblr page when in the 2010s together with Dan and Phil. Other than that, if I ever were to end up like you in this situation, this anime would probably last a minute, because I would just do this from the start. It wouldn't have taken me 12 episodes. Also, guys, please in the comments tell me when you watched this anime, how old you were and which brother was your favorite, because I have a theory. Now, thank you everybody for watching this video. Please guys, if you want to like and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. All of the brain cells I've lost while rewatching the episodes of The Diabolic Lovers would also appreciate it. And if you'll excuse me, I believe I have to go and touch some grass now.